What's happening? Nick here from virtualassistant.com, and this afternoon I'm joined by Keith Taylor from TayStone BPO. Keith, what's going on?
Hey Nick, thanks very much for inviting me here. It's great to talk to you again.
Well, as you know, you've probably seen a handful of these other videos on the site. This is your opportunity to give your pitch, to say, hey, what's TayStone all about? Who do we serve? How can we help you? And what it's all about. So take it away.
Okay, fantastic. Well, again, thanks again for the opportunity. Really appreciate it. It's great to be able to especially because we don't focus a lot on sort of self-marketing over the last few years. It's great to be able to do something like this because a lot of people haven't even heard of us. So basically, TayStone, we've been in the business since 2012. The business being administration and virtual assistants. Personally, it took me quite a while to get used to the virtual assistant term, because to me it was sort of like well, they're like virtually doing a job. Do you know what I mean? As like kind of like half-assed. But I've came around to, obviously it's just the new term, virtual executive assistants. Basically, we help our customers get their time back. Our motto is, we get it done, you get your time back. And whether that be answering calls, whether that be running as a sort of virtual employee for clients, we encompass pretty much most of that stuff. Virtual employee and a task-based service called the on-demand service.
Yeah, I'm glad you reached out, because like you said, I never heard of you either, and I've been kind of on. I thought I had a pulse on this industry for the last 5 years. So
you definitely do, but yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a fantastic industry
with the word of mouth referrals and getting business that way. Have you found
Definitely
a particular customer base that you're serving, or a particular industry that reaches out to you more often than not?
The industry that reaches out to us more often than not would probably be the entrepreneurial e-commerce industry, in terms of, for example, setting up like MailChimp, Aweber campaigns, that type of thing. That would just be the industry that contacts us more, though. We serve quite a varying amount of clients. For example, we've four pharmaceutical companies in the US that we serve, a mixture of on demand, where their assistants are US based, and you send tasks through, and also the dedicated VA service, where the agents are based in the Philippines, both of which have, and it's very easy to say this, I understand, and it's sort of like a cliche in terms of, like we provide so much quality and affordability. I mean, quite a number of years ago, I had a very bad experience trying to get a virtual assistant, in terms of, I spent thousands of dollars on the wrong people, and I just didn't really have the sort of technique to put into terms how I needed help in my business. So that was all on me, though, and really it's kind of been a culmination of like a career's worth of customer support and personal assistance experience, for me and for my other business partner, that really made us think, we need to do this better, and we can do it better. we like to think so anyway.
I've heard before too, so I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
It looks like there's two sides of the VA operation. There's the US UK assistance, which isn't sold as hey, you're going to get a dedicated person, but rather you're going to get access to our whole team. And you can send us tasks on demand. And then there's the Philippine side, which is a dedicated VA. Are they, in either case, are these guys working from a dedicated center, or is it like a home office based setup? What's the setup or infrastructure look like on that side?
That's a great question. That's one of the main questions we actually get. First of all, yeah, you're exactly right. The dedicated side is the Philippines, in terms of having more like a sort of remote employee, and the task-based side, I should say, is executive assistants, either based in the US, with US management, or in the UK with the same thing. All of our agents were completely 100% remote company, in terms of work, and I'm passionate about that, due to the fact that, for personal reasons and in terms of being able to help such a varying amount of clients, and the other side too, who may have like disabilities, or who may not be able to get the help of someone locally, whether it's something as basic as call answering, or perhaps meeting a client who lives somewhere more local, that type of thing. We've quite a varying amount of experience with that, but definitely 100% remote based. And obviously one of the biggest factors that I found originally, and that's why I made 100% sure that any assistants that we have working for us, at the moment we've got about I think it's 17 in our UK on-demand division. Approximately about, I think it's somewhere between 15 and 20 for the US. The Philippines at the moment we have about, and again I think it was about 35 people out there who are, college degree, university degree is absolute minimum. Really, as I'm sure you've experienced yourself, there's nothing wrong if you want to go down the route of like Upwork or somewhere like that and use the site. But sometimes it's you either just don't have the time, or you're sick of getting your fingers burnt. And I know I checked both of those boxes. So
yeah, one of my go-to hiring sources in the Philippines is onlinejobs.ph, but it's such a needle in the haystack search environment, and I guess that's probably where the value comes in here. It's like somebody else has done the recruiting for me. It's like I might get 50 applicants and maybe 2 are worth talking to. And tell me about that recruiting process, because that's got to be a challenge whether you're a solo operator or whether you're a company looking to bring somebody else on an agency model to serve clients.
for sure, yeah. Our recruitment process, like I said, it's simple, but in terms of it, it's something that in an ideal world everyone would do. We only hire people who can do what they say they can do. So, yourself, you put a job out on Odesk or Upwork as it's called now, everyone can do the job. Of course, everyone will do it and try and compete for it. We test everyone to see if they're BSing or if they actually can do the job. Quality is a really big factor. And let me see, I would say actually about 30 or 40% of the clients that we have whenever in our first year still with us now. As a pure example of what, when I say, we really try and hire the best people for the job in terms of sounding great on the phones, really experienced at handling escalated complaints, that type of thing. I mean, the Philippines is I personally think is the best for that, and I've had virtual assistants from India and from other countries, and I've had good and bad experiences. They're fantastic. But in terms of the Philippines, I believe it used to be a US territory. They're so in tune with US culture, and even something as basic as a customer saying something maybe sarcastic. That's something that I have found, and I've read and researched that not all outsourcing countries are able to sort of get that.
Right.
So, and then that can lead to issues of, I don't want to ring an overseas call center, which I think is completely wrong. It's down to the companies to get the right people for the jobs and care enough to pay them, one, a fair wage, and 2, to continually make sure that they're happy and that they're doing a good job. That's really all we do. That's like the secret formula.
The top secret. It's out of the bag. So kind of like the call answering, customer support stuff, e-commerce. I guess that goes hand in hand with the e-commerce support. You mentioned the email marketing, kind of autoresponder stuff. Any other tasks or areas of expertise that you find clients coming to you for more than others, or that your VAs like really love to work on?
I would say it's sort of a mixed bag. I mean, we make sure that we have specialist VAs, obviously for their area. I mean, I found when I used some, and I'll not mention the names, alternative services over the years before I started this business. It's really difficult to get quality sustained over the long run. Like maybe one task will be good, the other task will be really bad. it's quite difficult. But yeah, I mean, we really try our best to give customers what they ask for and do what we say we're going to do. Customer support, I should say, would be one of our biggest industries, especially with the Philippines. In terms of, and again, I'm not going to mention names because as I've said before, we've came this far since 2012 and built a profitable business up by not sort of bad mouthing any competitors.
No,
so I'm
no,
not going to
no,
start.
I wouldn't ask you to do that.
I'm certainly not going to start doing that now, obviously. But what I just mean by that is, I had some really bad experiences, and I just thought, I mean, if somebody even had half an idea of what this person was saying to a client, they would not be in this job. So we have dedicated people in the US, in the UK, and in the Philippines who continually listen to random calls for customer support. For the task-based jobs, it goes through a QA process, which we've got it sort of streamlined to the point that it doesn't take too much time for the client or for us, but it still results in a good experience. So yeah,
have you had any problem customers or customers that have had maybe a longer ramp up period to see success? I'm trying to narrow down like who's the perfect fit for this or who is not the perfect fit for your service.
Okay, that's another great question. We have had a few people who it just wasn't a good fit for either of us, and that's something that we like to get out of the bag straight away, whether we're a good fit for each other. I mean, the clients obviously paying a fair amount of money. They want you to do what you say you're going to do, and that's what we strive to do. We have had a couple of bad experiences, mostly on the call answering side in back when we were just based out of Northern Ireland. However, in general, no. I mean, if somebody's just looking for, say, like 2 or 3 hours a week to answer the calls, it might not be the best service. That would be maybe another service that we offer, like Answer.ie, which we're launching soon. But really, we didn't want to kind of differentiate too much in terms of between like the on-demand and the dedicated side of things. It's all wrapped up in this sort of bundle of reliability. And again, I know that's so easy to say these days, but that's why we offer people the first task free and like a refund after the first few hours of their service if for some reason they're not happy, which no one has taken so far, by the way, because we've always, even say for example, it turns out that okay, so maybe something wasn't mentioned at the start, and it's not something that we can do immediately, or it's not something in our repertoire. We always come to some arrangement to close things out. You know what I mean? We've never had any sort of touch wood really bad experiences just yet. But no, I mean it's part of life, isn't it? So.
Well, absolutely. It's a people business. Can't please everybody, but it sounds like that's a pretty good success rate. So Keith, thank you so much for joining me. And you guys can check him out at TayStone BPO.com. He's offered $50 off your first month of service for virtual assistant visitors. We'll link that up, or the details on how to claim that below this video, both on YouTube and on the VAA site. And Keith, any parting words of wisdom for us before we wrap up?
Don't put me under pressure or anything, Nick. Parting words of wisdom. No, really, just thanks again for this opportunity. I am aware that to a lot of people who are in the VA business, that they may not have heard of us before, but try us out. We do what we say we'll do, and that's it. Just let us prove it to you. That's it.
Sounds good, man. Thanks so much, and we'll catch up with you soon.
All right. Cheers, Nick. Bye bye.